All right. How are y'all doing today? Good? Good. Well, today we're talking about healthy mindset. It's a little continuation of the Meditation 101. We'll be pulling elements from the last Lunch and Learn into this session. I'm Vicki. Hello. For my new faces, little background. I have 2 bachelor's degrees in psychology and anthropology. I am ERYT, which means I can train yoga teachers, so I can teach teachers. I'm also a certified massage therapist. I'm actually retiring this week after 13 years of doing body work. So I am a stress management wellness coach. I have trained at the Mayo Clinic for wellness coaching. I put stress management in front of my wellness coaching title because that is what I focus on. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I'm going to share a little bit about my story later throughout this session. So kind of what propelled me to where I am today. So usually we live it and then we can kind of share to help others. So here we go. We're going to do a little meditation at the end, a little breath work. So I saw this quote when I was putting this together, and it's like a slap in the face, isn't it? It's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. It's how we handle it. It's how we manage it. Where are our vices? Do we stress eat? Do we go ride our bike instead? Do we go walk our dog? Do we smoke cigarettes? Things like that. Hans Selye is an endocrinologist that studied the body's response to stress, which I'm going to have a nice laundry list here coming up, and a fun, cute little picture that I feel like we could probably all relate to. We ever feel like that when we're stressed out? Like, just get me under the covers and put some Netflix on, and I'll be okay. Poor little dog. But I know we all feel this way, right? It's important how we handle our stress because of all of these things. Our appetite can either increase or decrease, which changes our weight fluctuation. So something with my coaching, a lot of people, when I say wellness coach, people are like, I eat fine. I don't need your help. I want to focus on the stress components, and if that's part of your stress management. How are you eating? I'm guilty. I love donuts and Swiss cake rolls. Like, those are my favorite things ever. And my husband, when I have a bad day, he'll bring me Swiss cake rolls. I'm like, please don't do that, because I'll want to eat all of them. I know my vices, and I know how to manage them, so I stop it before it comes into my house. Breathing. Our breathing becomes labored. Think about an animal that's terrified. It's up here, and that's where we breathe as well. Oop, I did it. I smacked the microphone. Our heart rate increases, right? Inflammation, our body becomes inflamed, our mind becomes inflamed, our words become tense. We can't concentrate if we're overloaded. Anxiety and depression tend to go up. Sleep. How many lose sleep whenever we're really stressed? Yeah. Brain's just going. It's going and going and going, and then it's hard because it's not even shutting off to get a full night's sleep, to get into that REM mode. Headaches, illness, that makes me think of when I was in college and you're at that finals week and you're trying to get all your papers done, and then as soon as you turn everything in, it's just like you're down and out, completely sick. Because now your body has time to process all the germs that you probably took in while your immune system was suppressed. Mood swings, of course, we've probably snapped at somebody when we're stressed out, yeah. Nausea and pain. So stress increases our cortisol levels. And cortisol comes from that fight or flight from our adrenals. And cortisol controls our mood, motivation, and fear. So that ties right into our nice big list of how our body responds to stress. So if we have too much cortisol in our body, that's where pain comes from, that's where inflammation comes from. It's good when we need to run from a fire or when we need to save ourselves. But when we're in this constant overload, whether it's good or bad stress, our bodies are like shut down mode. And at some point we just kind of turn into this poor puppy and curl under the blankets instead of having that healthy mindset of finding ways to cope with stress. My favorite guy, he's my favorite little monk. Breath is the bridge that connects life to consciousness and your body to your thoughts. So when we're scared and we're panicking, we're up here. And when our mind's scattered, I'm sure we've sat at our desks and we've had a big project. And when we get close to being done, there's this, have we all been there? But until then, it's like we're holding on. Use your breath as a means to take hold of your mind again. So instead of holding the breath maybe even, or clenching our fists or our jaw, or furrowing our brow, instead of creating that muscle memory, create a different muscle memory and connect to your breath. We talked about this in Meditation 101. We'll come back to that deep breathing here soon. So our brain's designed to think and process. And part of meditation, we get frustrated sometimes because those thoughts keep popping in. And when we're stressed out, so one of our coworkers came in and said, "I'm too stressed out to meditate." That's when we need it the most, right? There's this saying, if you can't do 5 minutes of meditation, you need like an hour. It's funny, but it's true. Meditation and breath work help us keep those thoughts circulating, but keeps our mind clear so that we can find solutions, so that we can get inspired. Because when we have all these scattered thoughts ricocheting around in our brain, we can't sort them out. We get overwhelmed. And then sometimes we just want to like walk away from everything for a minute or longer. But we have to pick it up one thought at a time. So if we have repeat stressors, we're overloading our brain. It's like a circuit overload. And then we have all this inflammation, agitation. I wish I would have put this up on this slide. Stressors lead to tense mind. Tense mind leads to tense body, right? So we get our stressor here. We take that information in. Our mind's already tight, spinning. Then we start to do this, right? Or this, or this, or all of it. Tense body leads to tense speech. All of this stuff's like, there's no more space. We blow a gasket, yeah? I teach at St. Francis the yamas and niyamas, which is a yoga philosophy, and the first thing we cover in the class is ahimsa, non-harming. And stress is the most harmful thing to our bodies and other people because we get short-fused. I'm thinking of yesterday. I was finalizing this presentation and I cut my time short to get to my class to teach. And traffic, of course, naturally was just backed up. Well, guess what? If I would have planned my time a little better, had I not increased my own stressors, traffic wouldn't have been an issue. But then it was one thing after the next after the next. And I could have blown up at everybody and laid on my horn and cussed at everybody, you know. But I took a moment to think about it and say, I'm owning this. This is my problem. It's no one else's problem. So when we're stressed here, we tend to project it outward, right? So we just have to be aware of how we respond with that. So here are our tools today. Breath work, a mantra or a motto. If you don't like mantra, I like motto too. Organizing the chaos and shifting your perspective. So we're going to practice breath work here soon. I have some mantras or mottos on the next slide. But organizing the chaos. I just did a talk on morning boosters, and two of the things are writing things down. Taking Sunday to plan your entire week. Organize that chaos of what your schedule might be. That's the first thing, is map it out. It doesn't have to stay up here. It can be on a whiteboard. It can be on a paper planner. If you like computers, put it on a spreadsheet, whatever. Then dump all of your to-dos out of your head so that they're not scattered around here. Once we clear that out, then you have room to breathe. Almost literally. Each thought comes out on the page. Each breath gets a little bit deeper, so to speak. We're gonna do a little breath meditation exercise with that. So if we keep that organized, our head stays organized, then we're not unhealthfully, I might have just made up a word, responding to our stress. We can at least handle the chaos a little bit easier. Then we know if we can delegate out to a coworker or a relative or pitch the idea altogether. Is this really life or death? Anyone guilty of like making everything an urgent matter? Me. Everything's an urgent matter. And I think that's how our world is, right? Everything's immediate. Text me now or else something really bad happened. That's not true. I teach yoga, so I'm obviously not texting. I'm not texting right now. I'm not texting when I teach yoga. My husband might think something's wrong with me because he forgot my schedule for the day. Are you okay? What's wrong? It's been an hour, so class. I'm okay, I promise. So if we take the urgency level out and kind of sort everything out, that stress factor is not so high. Are you ready for a really tough exercise? Shifting perspective. I did this with my college kids this morning, and I got this exercise when I was 20, which 20-year-old me, my head was just like completely, I was blown away by this, and it's obviously stuck with me. Have we heard of the mirror exercise? Okay. I want you to imagine someone who stresses you out. There's always one person in our lives that stresses us out. They make us mad. We can't communicate with them very well. They're just really frustrating. Do we all have a person? Okay. Think of 3 things, just off the top of your head, 3 things that annoy you about them. That's what gets under your skin. 3 things. And then we turn the mirror around on ourselves. Ooh! Ah! That's really hard to take, right? And it may not be on the same plane. I'm trying to think of who my person was when I listed it. I have a good example, though. Someone I used to work with, we both like to be in charge of things. One of us might be more in charge than the other. But having that relatability might be to your advantage of handling the stressful encounter you might have with that person every time. Flip it to your advantage. Shift your perspective. How would I want to be talked to? Because I like to be in charge. Okay, I'm going to flip this so that I can communicate effectively to this person because of that personality trait that I also share. It's hard to admit. It's a self-study thing. Oh, I felt sick to my stomach the first time I did that exercise, but it's stuck. And I try to keep that perspective every time I have someone that bothers me. Go, okay, what really sticks out to me? Am I projecting possibly from my mind onto that person? And can I communicate with them more effectively and not make this situation so stressful? You can also do this just by putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I used to do social work. I worked with the Burmese a lot. So walking into a home that may not be as clean as mine, you have to put yourself in their shoes. They just got thrown into Fort Wayne with not much, So if we can shift our perspective, not everything has to be so negative or stressful. And we're going to do a little transformative meditation here. So here's our mottos. The stop pushing away, start receiving could be stop pushing and start receiving too. Instead of having that, everything's urgent. Pull back. I need help. I am so guilty of not asking for help. One step at a time. Resist knee-jerk reaction. Especially when we're already overloaded, right? That one last thing is usually the silliest little thing, like muddy shoes on the floor or something. Wah! Had it! So kind of going back to our list of sorting things out, breath work, organize, shift perspective. Kind of tell my story real quick. I used to own a yoga studio, and I also ran my massage business. So 2 separate businesses. I also managed a building on top of that. Talk about stress on top of stress on top of stress. And I laid down and let it take me over. I let the business run me instead of running the business and setting my parameters. So there's organizing the chaos. I could have delegated. I could have asked for more help. I could have put my foot down when somebody was trying to take advantage. But I let the stress bowl me right over. I got adrenal fatigue, which is where that illness, inflammation, tension, I was snapping at my teachers. It's a yoga studio. It's supposed to be a Zen place, right? I was not a Zen person. I was not handling the stress with a healthy mindset at all. But once I removed myself, I had to make that tough decision to close the studio because it was making me unhealthy. And then I had to step back and figure out how to mend that with healthy mindset action steps. So that stop pushing away, start receiving, or stop pushing, you could take the away out too. Stop, go, go, go. Take a step, breathe, pause, receive some help, take some rest, self-care, meditate, take a bath, get a massage, go do some yoga. I know some good teachers. Everything is one step at a time. Not everything's going to get done all at once, right? That's why we have to organize it. Final quote for the day. Our thoughts become words. Agitation becomes agitation. Our words become actions. We lash out. We're angry. We're frustrated. We honk our horn, shake our fist out the window. Actions become habits. I seek comfort in stress sometimes. I'm guilty of it. I have gotten better at finding ways. So my tendency to heal my anxiety is to surf Facebook, which propels that anxious feeling, or to go clean the house, or do all these crazy things, but work, 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 on top of work, 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 there's no rest time. So these words of like, I have to, I have to, I have to, change your mantra. I can receive help. I'm going to ask for help. I graciously receive help. Habits become character. My teachers did not want to be around me because I was getting angry and frustrated. Thankfully, they're still all my friends. They understood what I was going through. Character becomes destiny, but you can always change all of this right from the beginning through your thoughts. So, the first thing we're going to do is connect to our breath. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Let's try to draw the shoulders down. We are gonna do a little yoga, but it's neck yoga. It's not. We're not gonna get crazy on the movement today. If you're having trouble drawing the shoulders down, I'm gonna sit in this chair. You can sit on your fingertips, or you can interlace your fingers and press your palms down into the seat. So take that wherever you can. It might just be dropping your arms down by your sides. Okay? Because muscle memory, when we're high stress, our shoulders naturally, even when we try to relax, they creep up into our ears. So we're going to recreate our muscle memory first. And then you can gaze down towards the floor, close your eyes. And just notice how you're breathing right now. We've been sitting here for a little bit. You may have forgotten some things, but some things may start creeping into your mind. As they do, whether it's something that you've already completed or something that's ahead of you, I want you to take a breath in, acknowledging that thought, and then take a breath out and place it in its home. Everything has a home. It doesn't have to live up in your mind. And as a new thought comes in, inhale, acknowledge, exhale, shifting it to its home. Either leaving it where you have already left it, or placing it where you're going to meet it later. And as you start to clear that space in the mind, notice if your breath can become a little fuller into your lower abdomen. Let's lower chin to chest. So we're keeping our shoulders down, chin to chest. Observe where your muscles respond as you lower your chin to your chest. You may notice that your body is zinging in the shoulders, down your back, into your scalp, into your ears, your eyes. It may just stay in your neck. And then we're going to roll the left ear over to the left shoulder. Slowly, and observe how does your body respond on this side. So this is our physical manifestation of stress, is usually tension in the neck, the jaw, the shoulders. And then we roll back down, chin to chest, over to the right side. Again, notice this side. How does this feel? One side might be tighter than the other. Notice how your breath changes if you feel that physical response of tension or pain, maybe fuzzies in your fingertips. Let's go back over to the left side. And back over to the right. And then back chin to chest and neutral spine. So you can just lift the chin, keeping the eyes closed or gazing back down towards the floor. Relax the arms. You can rest your hands in your lap. We're going to move to a transformative meditation. So just staying focused on your breathing itself. We've cleared the mind. We've stretched out the neck, that tense area that tends to distract our mind because of pain or soreness. And if any stressful words come to mind, I want you to inhale and acknowledge those stressful words, but we want to transform that into a word like patience or peace or calm, something that resonates with you that might counteract that word. So we're inhaling that breath deep into the lower abdomen. We're drawing that word in. We know it's a part of our world, but we can choose to change it. We burn it up in our belly. Our belly is our fire center in our yogic practice. It's the place where we digest and transform. And then as we breathe out, we draw the navel back towards the spine. And we manifest peace, patience, calm, centered. Keep moving with that transformation. It's not that you are consuming that stress. It's that you're transforming it to something positive and healthy. And then we'll set an intention of any word that you feel needs to be your guide to work your way through any stressful situations you have ahead of you. Balance, stability, smile, joy. Take what you need and connect that with your breath. And then we'll lower chin to chest, honoring your intention. And next inhale, we'll open the eyes. So if we shift our perspective and keep things organized, those are the top two, right? Breathing gets a little easier. Our mottos are a little easier to receive. Our mantras are a little easier to receive. So if we start with breathing can help us get through. But when we're in the thick of it, it gets forgotten. Just like our pain and our tension gets forgotten. We might have noticed like, oh, wow, my neck's really tight. That's why we did it. I wanted us to be very aware of how physically tight we can become because of stress. But just staying organized, sorting out the chaos. It's doable. Small chunks. Break everything down into manageable chunks even farther. Throw out what's not going to work for you. Because if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. There's no sense in continuing to try and exhaust yourself more. and then try to find a lesson in all the things, whether it's good or bad. That's a hard one too. Kind of like the frustrating person. What is this person trying to teach me? Oh. I've had some people in my life where I'm like, why are they're here in front of me crossing my path for a reason right now, no matter how irritated I am. But it's hard when you're already in this moment of, I've had enough, I'm overloaded. I don't need this extra person causing more chaos in my life. But if we just take a pause and go, there's a lesson in this. There's a lesson in everything. That helps us shift our mindset so that we're not getting mowed over by stress. And then, therefore, going down the Swiss cake roll donut route. Or over coffee consumption. That's another guilty vice of mine. I've gotten better with the coffee, though, because I get a little shaky. So, yeah, we can sort it out. There's a lesson in everything. And sometimes when we write it all down and see it in front of us instead of a blur, it makes it so much easier to find the lesson. And sometimes it's what we're doing to ourselves. A lot of it's self-induced obstacles, right? So, do we have any questions? That was a lot of information today. I have my cards up front. If you do have any questions that come to mind, you can email me. The next one's in 2 weeks, right? On mindful consumption and consumerism. Perfect time for Thanksgiving. So, thank you.